guys, real quick once, we're gonna make this quick. Got the cover crop baled this morning. Or it was about noon we did it. We raked it up, and soon after we baled it. She's plenty wet. But that's what I wanted. I wanted it. I didn't want it too dry this year. Could have been a little drier, but we did it anyways. So I want to show you guys how we start this wrapper. So we gotta set up this backstop, for lack of a better word. So before I did anything, set any bales on it, we set these bales on, and I actually pushed them up the ramp as far as I could, or all the way up to the end of the needles where that bale's sitting on right now. There's two needles there that when you wrap it, the wrap goes around the needles and the needles pull out as you push. If you aren't unfamiliar with this, I'll set up the camera, we'll get a time lapse or something going at some point. But anyways, you got to set these bales up. The reason for that, if you wouldn't have this here, that first bale, once it gets off them needles, it's gonna roll right down that ramp. So you need something to stop it, and you also want something to push against, because as you set the bales on, the wrapper actually moves. You're pushing against the back stop here, and the wrapper's actually moving as you go. So you need some weight back here. You don't necessarily need the weight, but the more weight you got, the less your tube here is going to slide on the dirt. And you don't want it to slide in the dirt too much, otherwise you rip the bottom. So the first bale I put on this was actually some baleage I made last year. That it was some grass that got rained on a lot. It's not, basically it's straw, and we wrapped it at about 30% moisture, and I fed a bunch of it to my cows, but I got like a dozen bales or so left. So I decided I put that bale on here because this bale doesn't mean anything to me. This bale, you could do a few different things. You can put dry bales on the end, or you can get what's called an end cap, which is basically a thicker plastic that'll go around the bale, and it'll be plastic on this end, and it'll be capped. You can get an end cap. I typically will just use a piece of plastic, and we will throw it over the end, and I'll wrap a string around it, and then we'll wrap a bunch of wrap around it, and then I'll set it on. So we'll do that on the ends. But for this is my stuff. I have the extra bales that I don't care about if they are pretty well rotten anyways. But doing this, typically this bale would be rotten. This bale would probably have some mold on. Hopefully the third bale in would be good enough to feed. I've had guys tell me that I've wrapped and the end bale was okay to feed. So it's kind of a 50-50 if you get this end sealed up or not, for me anyways. But for one bale to go bad, it's not a big deal. So anyways, we got it started here. I just threw a new roll of wrap on, and we got about 80 some bales to put on yet. So let's get going. Some of you are probably wondering why I pulled this excess off, or pulled this plastic off. I don't know if I'll be able to see it now. But anyways, if these rolls get a nick in it, if they say they're in the back of your truck and they roll and they hit on the side of the bed or something, and they get a nick in, that nick will penetrate a couple layers. And if I were to just go ahead and pull it out and run it through the rollers, once it gets tension on it, it'll tear. So it's kind of in your best interest to just go ahead and pull it off. All right, so I probably had about a dozen left or so, but I am on the road right now. So I want to talk about what happened today. Dad raked up my cover crop this morning. I fixed that baler. I put the new sprocket and the new chain on it. And once I got that done, I started baling. Once Dad got done raking, he jumped on the loader with the wagon and started picking up. He got most of them picked up. When I got done baling, I hooked up the grain cart, I greased it, fueled up the tractor, and then I went and got the wrapper because it was down by my grandpa. My dad got done picking up bales and he jumped in the grain cart and took that to our northern farms. We got our northmost farm is 60 acres of beans, and the one kind of in between there, it was all corn. It was like 65 acres of corn. We had a bunch of corn drowned out early on, and we went and we put probably 3 or 4 acres of soybeans in, just sporadically throughout the entire property. It sounds kind of stupid, but we're gonna get more out of those spots than we would if we wouldn't have. So we're gonna start there. It's gonna be a lot of screwing around. So let's see, where did I leave off? Dad took the grain cart up. My grandpa came up, picked him up, and brought him back to the dealer that we rent our combine from. For those new viewers that don't know, we actually rent our combine, and we rent I believe we're getting the 9610 that we had last year. We're getting a 9610 John Deere with a 20-foot head on it. We got offered the 30-foot. Dad declined. Mainly because of the little stuff we have to do in that one property. He didn't want that 30-foot head, but it is what it is. We'll get it done. So anyways, Dad got the combine. He stopped, put fuel in. There's a kind of a gas station up the road that he's able to get into and get fuel. And so he got fuel. He took off. Probably takes him a good 40 minutes or so probably to get from the dealer up to the land up there. Probably 35, I don't know. So he took off. I gotta stop and grab the head on the head cart and go up there and help him get the head on. And I'm not sure. if I'm gonna stay up there and help him, like I said, there's not a whole lot I can do. It's gonna be a lot of screwing around with the little stuff, so we'll see. But right now we're running. We're gonna grab that head on the head cart and take that up for him, and then we'll get him going and see what happens.